Right, 25 minutes before 8 here on the program, the Department of Higher Education and Training will on Monday embark on a campaign against bogus institutions, as most learners will be looking for study opportunities at the institutions of higher learning. The project aims to empower them on how to check and ensure that they study at institutions that are registered with the Department of Higher Education and Training and accredited by the respective councils. So to tell us more, in studio with us we've got Dr. Essack Shaheeda, who is the Director for Private Higher Institutions and Learning here in South Africa at the Department of Higher Education. Good to have you. Thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you. Good morning, Leanne, and thank you for having us here.
Absolute pleasure. So, a bogus institution. I mean, is it what we think it is? Just one that offers you the world, and at the end of the day, you give them your money and you get nothing for it?
Excuse me, Leanne. It is that, and it is much more. And recently, we have discovered all kinds of irregular behavior from guys that look credible.
Yeah.
So the whole bogus is a popular terminology. It's not defined in the legislation, but it's basically an illegal, unregistered provider. Now, there is a lot of confusion and misinformation out there. So we want to keep our message to students very simple. So before I go into the detail, I want to just briefly contextualize everything and indicate, there is legislation in place that registers private providers of education and training. In fact, it is a constitutional requirement. So that being in place, any private provider of education and training that is not registered with the department, we need to look at them and scrutinize what it is they are doing. Okay. And once we begin that process, everything begins to unravel. Now, the problem is not unique to South Africa. It is a huge problem in the UK, linked to illegal immigration. In the US, it's internet distance education fraud. It is a multi-million-dollar industry. And two of the biggest scams were run from Pakistan.
Wow.
Many of the victims were middle-class American citizens. Sure. So it's huge, it's big.
It's a global problem.
Yes.
So let's just make it local now and have a look at what people should be aware of when they are registering with an institution. The first question really is, should every single higher institution be registered with the department? Is that the basic to look out for?
Yes, that is it. If you offer higher education programs or programs in the college sector, basically if you offer a program that leads to a qualification on the NQF, our NQF, or a program offered under a different guise, though it is a qualification, that provider and that program must be duly accredited by the relevant quality council and then registered with the department. So what we say to students is that they need to check with the college. The first step is to look for the registration certificate and the letter of accreditation from the CETA or the QCTO. And they need to look for two things: that the program is listed and the accreditation cycle hasn't expired. That information can then be verified with the information on the register or the CETAs or the QCTO. That information is available on the department's website.
Yeah. What do you think it is? I mean, why do people fall victim to these bogus institutions that are out there? Is it a matter of pricing? Is it a matter of promising them or over-promising, saying you can get this degree in a year or something like that? I mean, what are they doing?
It's a combination of factors. The first is desperation. And there are two kinds of desperation. Those kids who are really at the bottom end and who really want to move up.
Yeah.
And these guys make all kinds of promises. And then there are those guys who are aware, but they are looking for the shortcut.
When you mean bottom end, are you talking about those that didn't do very well in matric and would love to get something? Is that what you're talking about?
You see, what we discovered as the campaign unfolds, we discovered last year that many students, matriculants who don't qualify for the diploma program, will find any other diploma appealing.
Okay.
Especially when it is linked to the words international qualification, foreign qualification, international accreditation. And our own investigation revealed that these so-called international qualifications are not even recognized by the state authorities in the country of origin.
Yeah.
So what are we saying to students? So these practices are wide, very diverse. It becomes very complex because it's a money sector. And the target population is there. It's easy to mislead students.
Yeah. Do you, if somebody is who falls for this and does pay their fees and they land up at this institution, they realize that this is actually a bogus institution and the piece of paper they get means nothing at the end of the day. Do they have any recourse, or is that it?
No, they do have recourse. As a first step, they need to inform the department so we can initiate our own investigation. But if they have paid fees up to the value of 15,000 Rand, they can go to the small claims court and claim for a refund, because we can't enforce it, only the courts can enforce it. If it's above 15,000, they'll have to engage an attorney. If they cannot afford attorney's fees, they'll have to approach the Legal Aid Board.
Yeah. How popular are these bogus institutions? Are there many of them in South Africa?
There are many in South Africa, not just in physical form, but online internet. Now, we've had cases where we've shut down these bogus colleges, but what they did, two of them, what they did is go online and start trading under another name. Now, we know the characters, we know how they operate. We are currently dealing with a case where students paid something like 400,000 for a 3-year program that does not lead to a recognized qualification on our NQF and not certified by a recognized authority. One parent took a second home loan of 350,000 rands to pay for his daughter's fees. Now, this college is in the Platteland. So the city center bogus colleges are visible, and they are mainly the aggressive bogus operators.
Yeah.
Right. Then we have the other type of bogus operator, the passive aggressive one. The internet, online, distance education, and those in the Platteland. And those are really serious cases. So what we say to students, there's an expectation that we'll go with the police and shut them down immediately. We are saying you need to inform us. Let us begin the investigation. We don't want them to disappear with all of the money, etc. The longer we take to investigate, the more dirt we pick up, and finally we can get the magistrate then to attach the assets of the owner and refund students. It's a long process.
It's a long process, and something that the reality is, do not get caught out by this.
Correct.
Be aware that they're out there, they're operating, and really all they want from you is your money, and you're going to get nothing at the end of the day. When you applying somewhere, and particularly, I mean, online, you know, because that's one of the greatest places we get caught, and you've just mentioned these. Can you find these qualification certificates from the department online? Should it be on their websites? Is it very easy for us to get access to them?
You see, if students are going online, they are studying online with an institution, I would advise them. You see, the idea is to make things very simple. Go straight to the South African Qualifications Authority and check with them if that university, that college, that institution is nationally accredited in its country of origin. So if that institution is not listed on our register, the next step would be to go to the South African Qualifications Authority.
Okay. And you should be able to find all of those details there.
And yes, if it's not nationally accredited in its country of origin, stay away.
Please write to us if you've fallen victim to one of these bogus institutions, or just be very, very vigilant. There's a number on the screen there. That's 0800 872 222, correct?
Yes,
that's the right number.
2222.
Okay, excellent. So it's 2222. That's 0800 72222, and you'll be able to get through to the call center there. And if you've been victim to this, or you would like to query anything, that's the number that you phone. Thank you for talking to us. Let's hope that doesn't happen to many this year. Dr. Essack Shaheeda is a director of the private higher institutions at the Department of Education. All right, let's take a break. After this, Siva is our guest. She's taken the local, I suppose, foodie industry by storm by being one of the greatest chefs we've yet to produce here in South Africa. And now she's got a restaurant opening, so do stay tuned for that.